Hello, welcome to this tutorial. I'm Maurice Dimba. Today I'm going to take you through the modeling of a curved truss of 60 meters span and 150 meters long with the 16 meters pitch of the truss. Now if you take a look on the screen, you'll be able to see a grid already created. I've created this prior to doing this presentation because I'm assuming nobody is now incapable of creating a grid of this kind if you've been following this channel for quite a long now. But if you've bumped on this video for the first time on this channel, I'll just take you through on how this came up with all the dimensions that are tagging along this grid. To check that, just come here and double click on the grid. Then these grid properties will come up. On these grid properties, the key are coordinates and labels. If I zoom closer, you'll be able to see we have the x-axis, we have the y-axis, we have the z-axis. The z-axis has all the heights, and remember, once you fed this, you just copy paste them here and prefix all the dimensions with a plus sign. Means that the dimensions have started from 0 level and they are they're increasing upward, which means they're incremental the moment you've prefix it with the plus sign. Now on the y-axis, this is the span, which is 60 meters, and the full length is x-axis, which is 150 meters. That's all. And if you come on the labels, you can feed any letter. You can use B1 or B word, and you can interpret it, and another person can interpret it, and that's all. Now I'll go ahead and close this. Now, prior to moving to the next step, I've created some elevations that will be assisting me in modeling this structure. I've created elevation A1 and elevation A2 and elevation A. The elevation A is the full length, is the view from the full length. I mean, from the side of this structure, is a view from this side. And we have elevation 1 and 2, A1 and A2. All those elevations, you can access them under window here. The moment you click this window drop down arrow, you'll be able to see we have grid A, which is this one, and grid A1, which is this one, and grid A2, this one here. Now I'll pick on each and every one so that we'll be able to see how they look like. Now I'll start with grid A. Grid A, previously I showed you it is a side elevation that you'll be able to see the side of the whole structure. I mean the full length of 150 meters of the structure. Now I'll pick on that, and you'll be able to see the full length of our structure. This is 150. And to confirm that, you can come to edit and come to measure, pick on distance, then snap on that spot. You want to check the dimension, zoom closer, then snap on that spot. You can see it's 150 meters. Right click and exit from this. Then we'll come back and check grid A1, which is elevation 1. You can see it here, elevation grid 1, which is an elevation 1, A1. Then we have grid 2, which is elevation 2 or elevation A2. But we want to start placing our curved truss from elevation 1. There we are now on elevation A1. And prior to moving ahead, you must reorient your x-axis to take the position of y-axis. I mean, you have to create your curved truss on x-y-axis. And to change your axis, you just come to view. Under view, you come to work plane tool. You click that drop down arrow under work plane tool and pick work plane tool command right there. Then the moment you've picked that, you'll be able to place it now in any position as long as it sits right, and you can read it as XY axis. Now I'll place this in this position, or you can place that in that position, in position that it will sit best. Right click and interrupt to exit from that axis command. Now I'll go straight to steel, then I'll go to steel beam, I'll pick curved beam, I'll snap on this spot. Then I want my bending to start from this level, 14 meters, between this level and the intersection of grid G. I'll snap on that spot, then go to the right in the middle point of this, on this middle point of M and N. I'll snap on that spot. I'll right click and interrupt. I'll double click on this to reposition it to this height of 60 meters height of the pitch. I'll come to position here, then bring it to right there, apply and accept. There we are. Now we've created the top chord of this truss, and we want now to create the bottom chord. To create the bottom chord, we want just to copy this to the bottom end, or with an offset of 2 meters. Click on that, want to snap right there and direct our cursor downward and feed 2 meters on the keyboard and enter right away. We'll right click and interrupt that to exit from that copy command. Click on empty screen to deselect that member. Now we want to join this chord and this chord. Come to steel, pick on beam, snap on that spot, pick on this spot. After this spot is 3.5, and we want this to be 3.7. That's 700 right there, and enter on our keyboard. We'll double click on this because it seems it is a curved member, and we don't want a curved member in that position. We'll double click on it and come to beam properties, then click position. Under position we'll come to curved beam. We don't need a radius here. We'll change this to 0. Once you've changed that to 0, we'll make it straight and click modify and apply, accept that. Then click on empty screen to deselect that selection. Now if you take a look on this member, it's way below this dimension. This is the top of the abutment of our structure. We'll double click this. Once we double click that, we'll come to position here and click left to take it up slightly. I will apply and accept that. Perfect. Now it's a bit shorter, which means now we'll try to extend this. We'll just, after selecting this, just click on this position and press your left button on the mouse and drag it in this direction. Drag it on that direction and leave it there. Not appropriate. Double click on that. Click on this position, press your left button on the mouse, then drag it straight. Perfect. Points that will assist us in creating the internal diagonals and verticals of our curved truss. Now we'll come to edit right here and come to points. Pick on any position right here, and we'll zoom this. We'll zoom slightly closer to this position here. Let's zoom out and in. Now we want this position. We want to snap. We want to place our point on that position and a point on this position. These points will be guiding us in placing our internal verticals and diagonal steel members. We'll place another one here. We'll place another one here. Another one there. Another one here. And let's zoom closer. We'll place another one there. then zoom out and in, and we'll place another one here, right there. Zoom closer till we reach the utmost height of the pitch of our truss. Place another one there. We'll place another one there. This is just to guide us in placing the internal diagonals, diagonal and vertical steel members to support the top and bottom chord of our truss. Let's place another one here. And zoom closer. Want to place another one right on that position, right there. Then zoom out. Zoom out. After placing that, right click and interrupt to get you out of that points command. Now this will change the position of our axis. We'll come to view, work plane tool, and we'll place a work plane tool right there. Right there, and you click interrupt, come to edit, right there, and come to points, and we pick any position. We want a position right here. Place a point right there. Then we move with our work plane tool. We'll place a work plane tool right here. Or plane tool right there, and now we'll pick a point from that spot. Just zoom closer from that spot to that spot. Perfect. Then we'll move to the next point. We'll come to view, we'll come to work plane tool. We'll place our work plane tool right there. We'll place our axis right there. Right click and exit. Then come to view, come to work plane tool again, and place your work plane tool right there. Right click to exit. Come to edit, come to point, and pick the appropriate point location. Then we want to snap right at the bottom here. Right click and exit. Now, having placed those points, we want now to start placing our internal diagonals, steel members that will be supporting the bottom and the top chord. Now we'll come to steel. We'll pick on steel beam and snap on that spot and snap on that spot. Perfect. And we'll double click on this to change the size of this steel profile. We'll pick, select under beam properties. After selecting that, attributes, profile under attribute, we'll be able to change the size of this steel member. We want to use a smaller size. We'll use 114.3 3mm thick of CHS. Apply that and accept. We'll do the same thing here, apply and accept. And prior to that, we want to position these right in the middle. We'll come to position and bring these to right, and let's see how it behaves. We'll take it to middle point, right there. Apply and accept. Now we'll do the same thing. We'll come to steel. We'll snap on that spot and snap on that spot. snap on this spot and snap on that spot. Snap on this spot and snap on that spot. Just zoom closer. Just zoom closer and snap on that spot. Just do the same thing here. From that spot to that spot. Make sure you join this vertical steel member. It's now right there. Then do the same thing here on that spot and come and join in that spot. Then come do the same thing here and snap right there. Just move on that way. Make sure you zoom closer to locate, to place your member on the right position right there, and snap on that spot and join it up with this spot we created down there. Interrupt and go back to steel right there and snap right there, snap right here, and come again and snap right there, snap and snap on that spot. Come down here and accept. We'll come here, double click on this, just zoom out. We'll come to position and come to left, not right. Pick the right position. Perfect. Now we'll go to the next one. We'll double click on this, come to position right there, come to middle and pick left right there. Change to right and apply that. Accept and give it an OK. Double click, come to position and give it right. Click on that, give it right. Click on this and give it right. See whether it's moving. It's quite okay. Click on that and give it right. That's it. Click OK. Perfect. Now we'll switch back to our isometric view. We'll go to applications and component here, and we'll type here tubes. We want to that tube connection macro. Just type tube. Then we'll pick, just click inside, then scroll down. We want this round tube connection. Once you've done that, we want to connect this and that and this. Just move on, click on that and that. This, right click, click this and that and that connected, that and this connected. We want to connect this and that, connect that one and this one, connect this one and that one. Click on that and this. We'll weld this to this and that. Perfect. Now we'll close this because at the moment now it's now useless for us. It has no use. We'll right click and we'll click on empty screen and right click and click redraw to refresh everything. Now this is what we wanted to create, and we want to change now the position of our XY axis. We'll come to view, we'll come to work plane tool, pick on work plane tool, and we'll just place our work plane tool right there. It's not in the right position. We'll come back to work plane tool again, pick the work plane tool and place the work plane tool right here. want to place it in the right position. Right there, right click and interrupt. Now from here we want just to highlight everything here. We want to highlight everything here, and we'll be able to press Control and click on the grid, because we don't want to interfere or copy grid to any direction. We'll select on the grid to deselect it. Then I'll right click and come to special copy and pick mirror. Then once I've done that, our mirror line is this midpoint. Pick on that and it'll snap right down on the bottom here, and come here and click copy and wait for the result. There we are. We'll go ahead and click OK, right click and interrupt to exit from that command. Perfect. Perfect. Here we are now. Right click and redraw. Redraw means refreshing. Right away we'll go ahead and create the abutment. But prior to creating the abutment, let's just go straight and create abutment, because our truss will be sitting on concrete abutments, and this kind of structure is suitable for exhibition. Maybe it can be used for exhibition center, or it can be used for storage of material, especially in cement industry. This can be used for clinker storage, or it can be called CSP, clinker pile storage. Now from here I want to create the abutment. I'll come to concrete here, or prior to doing that I want to create the points. I'll come to edit, I'll come to points here, I'll pick any position and I'll snap on that spot and snap right here, snap right here, and snap right here, and snap right there. Then I'll come right to the middle point here and come to that spot. Then I'll go to my initial spot here. Just zoom closer. Just zoom closer to that spot. Let me go back to concrete. I'll pick slab now. I'll snap on that spot, snap on this spot, snap on that spot, and snap on that spot. Come all the way to this bottom end, snap here and there, and go back to my initial position right here. This is the abutment. This is the abutment. Now if I switch back to my isometric view, I'll be able to see the abutment. This is the abutment. It has gone full length 150 meters. It has gone full length 150 meters. Now I'll switch back to my isometric view. I'll switch back to my elevation view. I want to change this color to gray, a color similar to concrete. That's it. Now I want to trim this. I want to trim this like that. I'll come to this position. I'll come to point edit and come to points right here. Any position. I'll snap right there and point my cursor downward just to give me an orientation, and I'll feed 500. I'll enter that. 500 is high, though I'll get the midpoint between these 2 points. I'll come to points here and pick the first online. I'll drag that aside and snap on that spot and snap on this spot, I'll get the midpoint of the 2 points. I'll close that. Now I'll come to edit. I'll pick trim by polygon. I'll pick on this, I'll pick on that, and that. Does not responded properly. I'll pick on polygon cut. I'll pick on what I want to trim. I want to start from that spot to that spot to that spot, and this will be my initial spot, and it will be trimmed. I want to create a chamfer here. I want to create a chamfer there, and to create that chamfer I'll just use points. I'll come to points, I'll pick on any position, I'll pick on that and direct my cursor down here and type 100. Not right. I'll pick this, right click and click copy from that spot to this spot. I just direct my cursor to the bottom end here and type 100 and enter, and I'll do the same thing on the other end. I'll come to edit, I'll come to points right there, position, and pick that position. I'll copy this, I'll pick that spot, I'll pick that point from that spot right here and direct my cursor on that direction and feed 100 millimeter right there. Now from here I'll be able to trim this to create a chamfer. I'll come to polygon, I'll pick on the part I want to create a chamfer on. I want to start from that spot to that spot and end up on my initial spot. I've created a chamfer there, and I'll right click and redraw. Perfect. Now the joint here will be done later on. It will be a pin. It will be a pin, and the footing of the abutment will be done later on. I want just to create the abutment first, and I want to mirror this on the other end. I'll right click, I'll select the abutment, then come all the way here. I want to mirror this to the other end. I'll right click and come to copy spatial. I'll come to mirror. Now under mirror, I want to pick the midpoint. The midpoint is in between M and N. I want to mirror it from that spot to this spot. I'll click copy and give it an OK. Right click and exit. It is on this side. Now if I switch back to my isometric view like that, I'll be able to see the abutment has been created. I'll right click and refresh this. Perfectly well done. Now I'll come back to Windows. I'll come back to Window and switch back to my isometric view, to my elevation view, and I'll be able to highlight everything here. I've selected everything. Now I want to populate this along the z-axis. I'll switch back to my isometric view after doing my selection and taking note the position of my the direction of my axis. The y-axis facing upward and the x-axis is facing that direction, and the z-axis now running along the full length of the structure. Now I want to populate this along the z-axis. I'll right click and come to copy spatial and come to linear. Linear, here the interval dimension is 6 meters, and we have the number of trusses 25 meters, and check, is it positive or is it negative? Is it on the positive direction or is it on the negative direction? If it is on a negative direction, we will prefix this dimension with a negative sign. If it is a positive, don't prefix that with any positive. Just leave it like that. Then go ahead and click copy. Now we'll go ahead and click OK to accept. I'll click interrupt to exit from that copy command. Then if you zoom in and out, you'll be able to see what actually we've done. Now we'll go ahead and right click, and we'll click on an empty screen, right click again, and we'll redraw this to refresh everything. Don't forget to save your work. Don't forget to save your work. After doing that, we want to it has been saved. Now we want to just turn this around. We'll come to navigate, rotate this about that spot, and turn it around like this. We'll double click and switch back to perspective view. Click modify, apply and accept. Then we'll be able to turn this appropriately. You can turn this turn that like that. Perfect. Turn this and you'll be able to see your curved truss. It is as simple as this. Now, thanks a lot for watching this video, and let's meet on the next presentation. I'll be adding more members and creating the connection between the truss and the abutment, where it will be reinforced against the abutment. Let me just turn this round so that you see it clearly. Turn that position to that and turn it round like that. You'll be able to see the truss. The next presentation will be placing the purlins and creating the pin joint right there for the truss, for all the trusses. Thanks a lot for watching this video, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you're new to it.